Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
There are people on a day-to-day basis who think this is the roadway that you travel 50 miles per hour on to get from Hamden to New Haven. The reality is, this is the roadway that children want to walk across the street to get to the park.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez.
Big changes are coming to one of New Haven's main roads. City leaders announced the start of a project to upgrade Whitney Avenue.
Fox 61's Victoria Anderson tells us what drivers can expect to see during construction and what the road will look like once the work's complete.
One of the main arteries into the heart of New Haven is undergoing major surgery starting next week. I talked to city officials and they say the goal is to get everyone to their destinations the safest way possible.
And all too often a very dangerous corridor. I mean, you just feel right now the traffic zooming by.
Okay, you're not coming by now, probably going about 45 miles an hour.
Hey, look at this.
If you blink while standing on Whitney Avenue, you might miss that. Those speeding cars, a major motivator behind New Haven's newest $13.2 million project.
And so we have to force them to slow down with this infrastructure.
The project shrinks the street from 4 lanes to 3 and adds raised intersections, shorter crosswalks, bike paths, new traffic lights, and fresh paving to the 1.5-mile stretch of road. Officials say all this work is happening in the name of safety.
Because in 2025 alone, we've already lost 173 lives on our roads.
After more than 10 years of planning, the state-funded project will take off next week. Homeowners say this has been a long time coming.
I need to recognize a resident who really lit the flames under our feet, and that's Darko, who is actually here.
For Darko Lacha, longtime advocate and dad of 2, this isn't just about his kids getting home safe.
First, it means safety for everybody.
City leaders say if everything goes according to plan, the project will wrap up in 2027. Reporting in New Haven, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
All right, Hartford could see more WNBA games one day soon if the state steps in to help keep the Connecticut Sun here.
Yeah, the governor says it's a smart move, but Republican lawmakers aren't on board with where that money would come from.
Fox 61's Nick Bradshaw is live in Hartford tonight with those details. Nick.
Yeah, that's right. And part of what the governor wants to do is to bring more business to Hartford and hopefully open up places like this. It's empty. Actually just spoke with the owner of this building just a moment ago, and he said he would love to see them come and to be able to open this retail space. So Connecticut calls itself the basketball capital of the world, but no professional basketball team. Is that possible? Well, that's what they're talking about. But the Sun's future is still up in the air. Boston Group has put down more than $325 million to buy the team and move it north by 2027. Another offer to keep the Sun in Connecticut, with talks of shifting more games to here in Hartford. The governor has floated a third option, the state buying a minority stake in the team using pension funds, but only if a private investor comes alongside. Now, Republican lawmakers, they're saying they're not quite sure about this. They say retirement dollars shouldn't be tied up in sports and warn the deal could expose taxpayers if things go wrong.
We have to be very, very careful about how we oversee and invest the tens of billions of dollars in hard-earned retirements and taxpayer dollars for state employees and Connecticut citizens.
That was a huge disparity. They leave Mitchell alone. They pay.
All right, the governor is on the defense, and yesterday the governor told us the state can't afford to lose its only major professional sports team. His plan would require strict conditions like a 10-year guarantee the Sun stay in Connecticut. He argues the move would not only protect pensions, but also strengthen Connecticut's identity as a leader in women's sports, while giving Hartford an economic shot in the arm with new crowds, tourism, and visibility.
There are a couple of different offers on the table, and they're still being negotiated. I can't negotiate it here. I will tell you that the one that purchased the team, there was a private investor who I think you knows something about the NBA and what a good investment that's been for him. He would be junior to us. Connecticut, pension dollars would be senior to that, maybe a coupon attached to that. They get paid first. And again, it's going to go through a strict investment process over at the Investment Advisory Council.
All right, hold on. And there's still interests outside of the state, including Houston group tied to the Rockets, which could mean moving the Sun to Texas. And the governor doesn't want that. He says he wants that money to stay right here in Connecticut and hopefully open up some businesses here in downtown Hartford. We're live in Hartford. Nick Bradshaw, Fox 61.
Thank you, Nick. Windsor police tell us they were helping a man experiencing a mental health crisis yesterday afternoon, and that's why several schools had delayed dismissals. Officers responded to a home on Matthew Lane just before 1 yesterday. They said a family member had called them about a 35-year-old man, and that man, they say, was acting paranoid, yelling, cursing, and saying the government was spying on him. While the police were talking to the family, they heard a gun go off inside the home. The man and his brother were inside. Authorities blocked off the home and tried to get them out. Crisis negotiators convinced the brothers to surrender around 4:45. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. The man was taken to the hospital to be looked at, and he was later charged. Police say he's a registered gun owner. A local restaurant owner has been charged with theft. Police say Ginafefa Luari, who owns the Place to Be, bought more than $10,000 worth of restaurant equipment with bad checks. Documents show she purchased the equipment from a business in East Hartford in June. Investigators say the bank account was already closed when she wrote the check. Police say she told them she was going to pay the money she owed and didn't realize the account was closed. The East Hartford business told investigators they followed up with her again to get the money, and she still didn't pay. Luari was charged with issuing a bad check and larceny yesterday.
A Ledyard woman faces charges after police say they found her drunk behind the wheel with a child in the back seat. Officers say they spotted Angel Adamson around 12:30 Wednesday morning in the parking lot of the Ocean State job lot on Route 12. They say her car was running, alcohol was within reach, and she smelled strongly of alcohol. Police tell us the child in the back seat is Adamson's child. She refused a sobriety test and was arrested, and she is due in court October 8th.
Drivers on I-91 North in Meriden hit major delays this morning after a tractor trailer started leaking fuel. State police say it happened just before 5:30 near the Middletown Way Station by exit 20. The right lane and shoulder were closed while fire crews and DEEP worked that scene. DOT brought in a sand truck to help contain that spill. Traffic was backed up for more than 2 miles between exits 17 and 20. The scene has since cleared and all lanes are back open.
And Norwalk police busted a smoke shop after officers say they found marijuana, THC, vapes, gummies, and even nitrous oxide hidden inside a secret compartment. Now, this is the 5th raid at that same location, now called A&Z Tobacco and Vape. Officers say the shop sold cannabis products without a license, which is illegal under state law. Investigators also issued a juvenile summons to a 16-year-old worker. The case remains under investigation.
State police say a woman in Sterling called 911 overnight and told dispatch that she was assaulted while her children were inside the home. The man accused of attacking her ran off, but a K-9 unit and an officer tracked him down nearby. When the suspect tried to get back inside, he saw the dog and gave up, police say. Troopers arrested him without incident. He now faces assault, disorderly conduct, and risk of injury charges.
And take a look here. We have some sad news out of Ansonia tonight. The Nature and Recreation Center there says Calvin, their California banded king snake, was stolen from his enclosure last week. Staff last saw him Tuesday afternoon. His tank was locked, but when workers came back to clean it, Calvin was gone. The center says Calvin is very friendly, which is why someone could take him so easily. If you know anything about where Calvin is, the Nature Center wants to hear from you. And tonight, the search continues for the person who stole a government truck and crashed it into police cars. It happened in East Hartford.
And Fox 61's Joe Monty tells us how the owner of that truck became aware that it was stolen and what we know so far about the crash.
Across the street from Pratt & Whitney's headquarters on Main Street in East Hartford, a stolen government truck crashed into multiple police cruisers. Last night, a blue Dodge pickup truck was stolen from an Army recruiter at an Army recruiting event in Hartford. He tracked the truck and was able to notify East Hartford police. Police found the vehicle in the area of 400 Main Street, right across the street from Pratt & Whitney, and they attempted to stop the vehicle. The person behind the wheel backed into multiple police cars and then fled the scene. After a short police chase, a little later on, the truck was found in Manchester. The thief got away on foot and has yet to be found. If you saw what happened in Hartford, East Hartford, or Manchester, you're urged to contact the police. In East Hartford, Joe Monty, Fox 61.
We've learned a Farmington High School teacher who's accused of discussing Charlie Kirk in class is under investigation. The school says they're investigating the teacher and what they said. The teacher's been placed on administrative leave, which the school says is protocol during an investigation. Details are limited right now, but we're looking into it.
The state of Connecticut added 900 jobs in August, according to the Department of Labor. The private sector hit a record high of more than 1.48 million payroll jobs. That is steady growth, even as total jobs remain just shy of the state's 2008 peak. Connecticut's unemployment rate held at 3.8%, below the national 4.3% rate. But the labor force shrank again, down more than 4,000 people last month, which marks the third straight decline. State officials say immigration activity could be a factor. Still, they stress Connecticut's job market remains stable and strong.
Connecticut just approved a 3-year energy savings plan that could help families and businesses cut their utility bills. The Conservation and Load Management Plan runs through 2027 and funds upgrades like insulation, heating and cooling improvements, and energy-efficient building systems. DEEP says every dollar invested returns more than $3 in savings, about $2.3 billion total over the next 3 years. Officials say the program's lower costs for everyone and improve comfort and even cut greenhouse gas emissions.